Hey guys, if you're watching or listening, please do me a favor and subscribe. Oh, I'll wait for a second. Please subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, click that red button below. If you're listening on any streaming service, go back and subscribe. Follow the podcast. Would really appreciate it. Also, you can follow us on TikTok and on Instagram. Handle is Family Bases Pod. Thank you. And welcome to episode 23 of the On Family Base podcast. My name is Jake.
I'm Dallas.
And my name is Benjamin, as it says.
Yeah, I changed my name in the video, but that's a reference from college. So if you see that, that's
Jake used to dress like a bear and walk around college.
That you know what? That's what it is. You're right. As we enter in this first thing, I just want to say what we usually do is we talk through obviously baseball, but I want to play this game at the third base topic today, which is based on the suggestion from last week from Ben suggesting that we do an NWSL, the Women's Soccer League in the U.S., NWSL name game. So I'll host that, and Ben and Dallas will have to guess. And if you're listening or watching, guess along if you don't know it, because I'm gonna guess you get like half right.
Dude, I thought you were gonna say the NWO. I was like, wow, I didn't think we suggested a wrestling thing, but I'm in. Let's do it.
I mean, we can do that at a different time.
NWSL, NWO. I got it. We're good. We're good.
No, I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be bad at that, so you can definitely do that. So, as we actually start the episode, I want to actually start by saying two things. So, last week, the episode aired on Wednesday, 18th. So, on Thursday, the 19th, was me and my wife celebrated our 10-year anniversary. Ooh. So, I just wanted to say happy anniversary since I didn't even say it last time. I'm going to say it a bit late.
Happy anniversary, guys. Love you.
Happy anniversary.
Dad, do you remember when we snuck beers into Jake's wedding? We crushed a bunch of Coors Light in the limo outside the...
Yeah. Well, like two of them?
Yeah, we stashed them in the bushes.
Didn't know that.
Well, now you do. Can't do anything about it. It's 10 years ago.
Well,
statute of limitations long past.
I do remember people wanting to get a shave on the day of my wedding. That was not cool.
That sounds very Dallas-like.
Oh, it was Dallas and Dan wanted to get a fresh shave.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That checks out. We also got changed into our suits in my abandoned home.
Yeah.
Which I think also statute of limitations. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I'm going to see Drew later tonight. I'll ask him. I'll double check. Like, hey,
yeah,
can you just creep into an abandoned house? What's the deal on that?
Yeah, whatever.
Just in case. Whatever. Yeah.
So
no real reason in particular.
So on the 19th was our 10-year anniversary, but also the day this will come out, the 25th, is my wife's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday. So just
happy birthday, Ellie. Happy birthday, Ellie. Or if I don't know if we're saying names, you can blurb that out. Happy birthday, random person.
Yeah. You don't know her. All right, so I'm going to be actually just ask the question, what have you guys been watching this past week? I know it's not Greg Cubs baseball, but we'll get there in a second. But what have you guys watched this past week? Dallas, what's something you've watched?
I'm trying to remember this last week, man. It's been a blur.
Almost like something happened. Almost like you've been busy with something.
Soccer, a little bit of Nashville soccer.
Cool.
Is that new stadiums you've been going to, or is that baseball stadiums you've been going to? I thought that was baseball stadiums.
So I did. All right. So I did go to a Nashville Sounds game, which is their minor league team, on Friday night. But then, I think the week before that, we'd gone to 2 MLS matches, and that was fun. So
I didn't even know they had a team.
They do, and they have I feel like it's like saying Waterson's the biggest building between Chicago and St. Louis. It is the biggest soccer stadium in the United States that's designated strictly for soccer. It's built for soccer.
That's something.
So that's neat. Fun fact.
There you go.
Yeah.
But that's really so. I guess a lot of not baseball, but one baseball game. So
that's fun. Cool.
Ben, what have you been watching?
So I'd like to go back and watch the baseball documentary by Ken Burns a lot. So I'll put that on for a little bit. I started a new World War II documentary made by England. So it's very English centric, and you kind of get like a different perspective than the American one that we get. But then also I rewatch Band of Brothers, which is another fantastic television show. I think when Dave and I did a television like bracket, and I think Band of Brothers went decently far, if I'm not mistaken. But that was a couple years ago at this point. But anyways, so I checked that out, and then I'm sure there's been some other stuff outside of like obviously catching baseball games when I can.
So basically, it's just been violent TV. And a lot of war.
Yeah. And a little bit of baseball documentary too, a little bit of history.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what?
Sorry. I watched an absolutely horrendous movie the other day. I watched two they're both really bad, but bad in different ways. So the first one was Army of Darkness. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
Long time ago.
Bruce Campbell. It's along the same lines of like Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So the first Evil Dead was like supposed to be scary, and then the longer they got on, they got more ridiculous, right? He's like Jake. He's got a chainsaw attached to his arm. He's running around like medieval England with a shotgun.
So
right. Okay. Bad. So but that movie's bad in a really funny and goofy way. And then I tried watching. I know you guys have seen Starship Troopers, the first one.
Oh yeah.
So I tried watching the second one.
Oh no!
And boy, oh boy!
Boy!
I couldn't even make it through. I literally had to cut it off. My hair looks bald, but I had to. I had to turn the movie off because it was so terrible. So that's what I watched. That just popped into my head.
Yikes, dude!
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you?
So I will say this is that the past week, my wife and I are fans of This Is Us, and we watched the penultimate, the second to last episode, the series this past week, which was very emotional. And then the finale will actually air the night before this comes out. So we're looking forward to watching that. So,
do you like going out of your way to watch shows that make you sad, or movies that are going to make you sad? I don't like feeling sad, so I don't go out of my way to watch stuff like that.
But you're watching war, so
that's like. That's a good point, but war is like different than purposely making myself cry because like Marley and Me. Like if you watch that movie, you're just watching that movie to hurt yourself. That's self-harm. That's a form of self-harm if you watch Marley and Me or a movie like where a kid dies or something.
Just cut it off before that happens.
Okay, so one of the two hardest times I ever cried watching a movie, Passion of the Christ, right? Which, regardless of my religious beliefs at this point, that was like 2 hours of just watching a man be tortured. and like really pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like Flight 90. Ooh, I'm gonna get it wrong.
Yeah.
United 90, whatever that flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie where
Yeah.
they take over the plane and it's set like inside the plane on
Right.
that movie. I'll sob like a baby every single time.
Mm.
So I'd watch those knowing that I'm going to be sad and it being okay. But like I don't want to purposely go out of my way to watch something that makes me sad. Like This Is Us. But go ahead.
All right, so I will say this. I notice I watch more serious stuff. So that sometimes leans towards emotional. I don't really watch a lot of emotional stuff. I'll watch like hard stuff. So one of like one of my favorite movies that has come out in the last 5 years was like 5 years was Stronger. No,
Oh,
it was Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's about one of the survivors from the Boston bombing. He became a double amputee, and his life, like, from you don't see his life a lot before, but the point is, so I love that movie because it's just a good movie. Like, regardless of if it's sad, I can relate in a lot of ways. It's just a good movie, but I don't really watch a lot. But This Is Us, I feel like I went into that not knowing it would make you sad.
sure.
So, but I'm invested. I've invested.
Now at this point, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm invested to see how it all ends.
Sure.
So
I just thought of two more movies that make me
That's-
cry. But what about you?
Criers?
Yeah, just do you watch stuff that makes you sad on purpose?
Nah.
Yeah,
I used to
right.
like
Like
this-
you tend to just lean
watch it
towards
from-
comedies and stuff.
Yeah, I prefer comedies. But I don't know. Mufasa probably still gets me.
I mean,
That's fair.
R.I.P.
fair. Yeah.
So the last movie I remember hard crying at was A Star Is Born.
Mm.
You guys seen that?
I
Spoiler
saw
alert.
like a third of it.
Spoiler alert, doesn't end well for one of the characters.
The
And
guy.
yeah. And just on a personal level, like that really hit me. And then the movie Warrior with Tom Hardy and
Yeah.
Joel Edgerton, their relationship with their dad, is like real messed up and it's real emotional and all that. And that movie came out like within a year of my dad dying. So I saw the movie in theaters in Arizona with my girlfriend at the time. And they had cut the lights back on after the movie was over, and I was still crying in the seat because I couldn't I couldn't. It was like this flood of all this emotion just hitting me at once, and this poor guy's just trying to like sweep up popcorn and pick up like snow cat boxes, and I'm just sitting there crying like a blubbering idiot.
There's nothing wrong with it. Are we drawn to it? I find myself watching more of it, but I don't think I rewatch a lot of emotional stuff. Like the Office is the most rewatched thing for me. Not sad at all, except the finale. But
Or when Steve Carell leaves, that's really sad.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad,
That-
but I mean, there are like few moments in that. I mean,
He
I'm
just
wearing
Irish
a Dunder
goodbye to
Mifflin
everybody.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, is that racist?
Yeah, probably.
But
Because I don't think it's
Apparently-
like I don't look at it as a bad thing. I think it's cool. I like just
All right.
leaving places.
You know what? Let's leave. Is it racist to another section because that will come up again. All right.
yeah, part,
Oh, yeah,
part
that's right.
3 of the show.
Yeah, we'll come back. That'll be at second base. So let's hit first base. And Ben's wearing a Cubs hat. We're all Cubs fans. This past week for Cubs baseball has been split, we'll say. The first series they played against the Pirates this past week, they won the first two, lost the third. Then they played the Diamondbacks at Wrigley Field, lost the first 3, and then came back and won Game 4. So, I mean, kind of a split week, really, overall.
I'm still 3
So-
and 4 on the week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean,
you're still
it's
losing
not.
more than you're winning. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not neutral. It's not good, but it's not the worst they've been this year.
No.
So that's something. So I do want to ask this intro question because a couple games against the Diamondbacks, two key starters, our number 1 and 2, have not really lived up to expectations this year. And that's Kyle Hendricks and Marcus Stroman. I want to ask you guys, are you more disappointed that Stroman has not lived up to his contract so far? Or are you more disappointed that Hendricks, who's been with the team for longer, has not been a number 1 that we hoped he would be? Which is more disappointing? Ben, why don't you go?
Yeah, I mean, you have to view disappointment, I guess, on a spectrum in a sense. If you anticipated the Cubs were going to be bad, one guy who's above average in Stroman, and Kyle Hendricks, who's maybe slightly above average, as your 2 best pitchers, you're going to run into some trouble. Marcus Stroman and Kyle Hendricks are aces or top tier starters based solely on their positioning within the organization. Like if any of them were on a different team, they're not going to be the ace of that staff. They're the Cubs ace and Cubs number 2 because
Right.
the Cubs have nobody else. So if you're looking at the disappointment that way, it's not unexpected. You can look at disappointment in the business sense, which is Marcus Stroman just signed a new contract, got paid a ton of money. I was a big fan of the deal at the time. And then you can look at it again with, like you said, Cubs longevity-wise, Kyle Hendricks being the opening day starter and doing all that. I mean, he was great on opening day. I was at the game. He was he looked like Kyle Hendricks of old, which was awesome. And he clearly hasn't been able to maintain that. I would be surprised if Kyle Hendricks is a Cub by the end of the year. I think the Cubs probably try to move him to a playoff contender at some point. But for me personally, I would say Stroman is the answer because the Cubs did pay him so much money, and my personal expectations for what I wanted him to do at this point have not been what I think, and even his probably expectations of himself aren't probably where they want to be. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll mention something that he actually tweeted out after his I would say poor outing. He would not say that. But Dallas, what do you think is more disappointing of the 2 so far, Hendricks or Stroman?
Hendricks, you're looking for your consistency. You're number 1. You need him to show up a little bit more than 2 and 4. But that's just a short take. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, of those 2, if I'm posed that same question, obviously, I would say Stroman for this one reason, only for this reason, is that after the game, he tweeted out, embracing all the good energy while negating the bad. That's the whole tweet, and my reaction to it when I saw it was, I was like, bro, it's not bad vibes when people are saying you're not doing well. It's not bad vibes.
It's not bad vibes against statistics.
Right.
Because statistics are factual. That's evidence. You can see it in front of your eyes. You can't do anything about that.
So to me, when someone is paid that money, and everyone, I mean, still, Cubs fans, I mean, I would say the majority love and will praise Stroman for his on and off the field. I don't know, performance or life or whatever. So they will praise him, but then when he has a bad outing to some people. He says it's bad energy. I'm like,
It's a very Gen Z thing to say, Mr. Stroman.
Kyle Hendricks. I don't see any quotes from Kyle Hendricks saying, "Yeah, all you critics, it's just bad for me." I don't ever hear that. So Sherman is much more on social media. So that's
That's the other
one
thing too. It was like I don't even know if Hendricks even has a Twitter account. If he does,
Probably not. He's just a
Yeah.
nerd from Dartmouth.
Good
So
for
I
him.
understand that. Yeah, I mean, good for him. Probably good for the
They all-
overall world, but that's why I would say Showman, because I'm just like, where it's not bad vibes to say, hey, you should pitch better.
Do your job.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much. So that's all I say. But then, again in that same series against the Diamondbacks, the Cubs ended up the third game of that series. The bullpen actually blew a big lead. That was the Saturday game, and then they blew a big lead Saturday. But then on Sunday, the Cubs came back in the eighth inning with back-to-back home runs from the two players Ben crapped on last week.
I'm glad they
Wisdom,
listened. They listened. They took
hey,
my advice.
hey, Wisdom hit 3 home runs in that series,
But
and
he
it's
also
all because
probably
Ben
struck
shit on him.
out 30 times.
No, he did not. No, he did not. He actually had a decent series. I'm not saying good. I will say
Good
decent.
for him. Good for him.
So they had a bullpen. They blew the lead. Very uncharacteristic. In a very similar way, uncharacteristically, Schwindel and Wisdom had a clutch performance on Sunday. So I'll pose this: is that which one is a bigger deal? The fact that the Cubs really good bullpen this year blew a lead to a fourth place Diamondbacks team, or the fact that Wisdom and Schwindel led a comeback on Sunday, which is a bigger deal? Right, I would say right now. Dallas, what do you think?
Cool.
Go ahead, Dal. Sorry.
No, right. You go ahead, Benny.
I was just gonna say, I think Dallas and I are very much half glass full people. We're gonna lean positive on this one, Dal. We're gonna say the offense doing well, or your two main guys that I said were the biggest disappointments of the early Cubs season, or one was ugly.
Yeah,
Clearly, it's not Patrick
bad,
Wisdom because that's a good-looking man. So no one's ever looked at Patrick Wisdom and said he's ugly, right? But you get my point. So ugly and the good, the bad, and the ugly were Schwindel and Wisdom so far this year, and then of course they go 2 straight games with back-to-back home runs.
Yeah,
Which only making me look like an idiot. But I would gladly look like an idiot if I get to keep, or if they're just going to hit home runs every game for the rest of the year. That'd be sick. But no, realistically, I think the Cubs bullpen has been great. I think they're going to continue to be great. I think this is just a minor hiccup. It happens to every team around the league all the time. Mariano Blue saves every once in a while too. You know what I mean? Like nothing's guaranteed in baseball. So I'm just gonna say glass half full. Wisdom and Schwindel hitting well or hitting home runs at least is a good sign.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I mean, the Cubs bullpen was top 3 in the NL up until that one game. And then on Sunday, the reason why the Cubs did win is because they brought in Keegan Thompson from the bullpen. He had 3 innings, only gave up 1 run, and held that game close at the end. So I would say they came back. The comeback is a bigger deal just because even the day after, the bullpen performed well. So they bounced back.
Yeah.
So the Cubs this week, as we record, this is Monday afternoon. The Cubs have 6 games this week. They have 4 against the Reds, and then 2 against the White Sox.
You know who almost
it.
has the same record? The Reds and the Cubs.
I know.
It'd be really cool if they could pull a couple wins off and try to put some distance between them and Cincinnati.
I was going to say, we're also, I think, a better team than Cincinnati, which is
Let's hope.
lends itself to more disappointment than anything.
Yeah, super disappointing. So let's just say they're going to lose 2 to the South Side.
No, I was going to say, okay. Oh, you say, okay.
All
I
right,
thought you were going to
so
say Cincinnati.
my
I'm sure
question question was, if they're playing 4 against the Reds, 2 against the White Sox this week, what is their record against both teams, and they're obviously combined? At the end of the week, what is their overall record?
You're going 3-3.
Okay. How many wins against the Reds?
I'm giving them 3, hopefully.
Let's hope.
So I was also going to take. I'm gonna take 4 and 2. I'm gonna be again. My glass is half full today. They're gonna take 3 or 4 against the Reds, and then they'll at least take one of the.
You think they'll split it? Okay.
Yeah, we're actually going to that game. No, I'm going to the game Monday. Whoever they play a week from today.
Oh, that's awesome.
For Memorial Day. It's like a big group of us going to the bleachers, so. I might live stream it on Twitch or something. Not Twitch, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Or send you guys some updates so you guys can.
Is that
watch me get drunker throughout the afternoon? What?
That's an afternoon game.
Yeah, they actually play a doubleheader on Monday. So my wife, no. My wife and all of her friends decided to get bleacher tickets, and me, Drew, Viv, were already looking at going to the game. So we just all got big bleacher row together. So yeah.
Yeah, it's GA out there, so get as many people as you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's super.
So you're saying 3-3, and then 4-2.
4-2 for me, yeah.
I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, I feel like there's no way they only win 2 games this week. So I'm going to say 3-3. But the only reason I feel like they're actually going to surprisingly not do well, or they're going to split against the Reds.
Oh, and then you say they take one against the Sox too?
And they split against the White Sox.
All right.
And that is very much like the Cubs. They do not, they play down to teams, and then all of a sudden they have one good game against someone who's above average. So I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say 3-3. I'd be very happy if they took both games against the White Sox. That'd be great. At guaranteed rate field. That'd be nice. But I'm gonna say that's not gonna happen. I will never call it that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not great.
All right, so next week we'll actually check in to see what actually happens, and we'll kind of report on that. And hopefully, we can do this often with the Cubs. So let's actually move to second base. And this actually will come back to something that we mentioned earlier in the episode. I want to actually jump down to one of these. Take your pick. I want to take your pick on this. So over the weekend, or like over the past week or two, Tim Anderson of the White Sox and then Josh Donaldson of the Yankees have been feuding, if you will, have been beefing. And a lot of it started with a simple pickoff play at third base when Donaldson ended up falling on Anderson, and Anderson took some issue with that, and then some slides into each other, and then really just words to each other. But over this past weekend, it got more heated because allegedly, and I'm not going to quote exactly what was said, or what people said on this, Tim Anderson or Josh Donaldson, But Tim Anderson, the fact is that both of them acknowledged the one fact of Josh Donaldson called Tim Anderson in heat of the moment, called him Jackie, like Jackie, referring to Jackie Robinson. And referring to him as that, Tim Anderson took as disrespect, and Josh Donaldson had some defense of himself for saying that. But it quickly became about what are his intentions? Is this racial? Is this just competitiveness? So the question I would have on this is the question I had earlier I wanted to ask was whose side are you on? But I'm gonna phrase it a little different. Who are you more inclined to believe in this circumstance? Are you more inclined to believe Tim Anderson or Josh Donaldson with this Jackie conflict, if you will?
So at the very least, it is either absolute ignorance by a 36-year-old man. That's Josh Donaldson. He's as old as Dan.
Wow.
Okay, 36 years old. So either he's incredibly dumb and doesn't know that in 2022, first of all, the context of calling someone Jackie is a black man Jackie, right?
All right.
There's one thing that he means. The intention is what it is, right? I believe it to be an ignorant and possibly racially motivated thing to say to him, right? He claims that because in an athletic article, Tim Anderson referred to himself as like the modern day Jackie Robinson or something, right?
Yeah,
Which even at the time,
trying to bring fun back to baseball.
sure,
That's
but even
it.
at the time, not an apt comparison, right?
Right.
I haven't read the article, so maybe I should go back and do that. And in fairness to Tim Anderson, I just don't. I hold Jackie Robinson in such a high regard, and I'm not saying Tim Anderson doesn't, because I'm sure he does. But comparing yourself to him is tough because everything he did is so different than what Tim Anderson is having to go through. You would imagine, right? Now in comes Josh Donaldson, who makes an ignorant comment, and like I said, at the very least, if he didn't have any racial intentions behind it, it's just dumb to call someone outside of their name at 36-year-old that you don't like, that you guys aren't friends. You're not boys. I mean, Jake just described everything that happened leading up to this. I mean, it's not like this is the first incident that they've ever had, right? So obviously Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson have a little bit of beef, and I believe Tim Anderson's 100% in the right on this. I don't think that Josh Donaldson. I don't think his explanation or his excuse is good. It doesn't satisfy me, and I obviously don't think it satisfies Tim Anderson or anybody else on the White Sox. Grandal sticking up for his guy, and then
Yeah.
obviously the bench is cleared after that. But this is obviously not going to go away anytime soon. This is they still have. I think they play again the rest of this year. So you know what I mean, like White Sox and Yankees might play again. But I don't think it's going away anytime soon. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tim Anderson's side on this one.
I think it's a dumb insult. Like if it was meant to be insulting, that's like, I don't know. Like I just don't know. Like he was one of the greatest like players, and what he did was remarkable. So it's like stupid. I mean, it'd be like me getting dunked on the basketball court and then being like, okay, Michael Jordan. It's like, all right, maybe like that was just dumb. I think it's just lame. And if it was, I mean, you can't really tell. Maybe he did like see that he referred to himself as Jackie Robinson, so like he meant it as like in a sarcastic note or whatever. But still, just dumb, lame.
Yeah. Yeah, I
twice.
mean, so what Donaldson did say in his post game was he said in 2019 when Anderson said this, and it was in that article. He actually in 2019 joked about it with Tim Anderson when Donaldson was on the Braves. He said when they played the White Sox, he joked about it with them then. So and he said and he left. So like so that's his history with it. But then the problem I have with the post game interview is he said, I don't know if something's changed where like now it's not okay. I'm like, do we not understand what's been happening in this country since 2019?
Total lack of awareness. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe be slow to make any sort of comments on that out on you. The best way to say it is like kind of what Dell said was that it's at the best. It's not. It's just lame.
At best, it's lame. Yeah.
It's a years old reference. Like it's not current. No one knows about that. So who am I inclined to believe? I'm inclined to believe that Tim Anderson has the right to feel about whatever someone else says to him. He has the right to feel. However, if he says it's disrespectful, it's not Josh Donaldson's job to be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. It's like, we're all married, okay? Let's say our wives take something that we say badly. Our job is to not go to our wives and say, you are wrong. What I meant was this. It's like, no, maybe you should slow down to be like, I didn't know that this would make you feel this way. I apologize for saying it. I even if I didn't intend it, it's wrong because it affected you in this way. I'm not saying they're married or anything, but the point is that however Tim Anderson takes it is how he's taken it. Even if it was intended as a stupid remark from years ago,
Right.
if you said something that offended him, just own up to it. But that's also not who he is. So I'm like, I'm not inclined to believe you, Donaldson. You do pick fights. You do fight with anyone. So
He's a shithead. He's been high on that list of people I don't like or would never want to hang out with for a very long time since those Toronto teams, Jose Bautista, all of those dudes, and so he's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That's why like this doesn't surprise me in the slightest bit that something like this came of it.
But yeah, see, that's my point is that with his history, I'm inclined to believe the guy who does not have that history of being an agitator. I'm inclined to believe Tim Anderson feels a certain way, and that's okay.
And that's
okay. All. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
So, but something less serious is that Juan Soto.
My bank account.
I mean, if you're talking about your bank account, let's take a look. All right. So let's the outfielder, one of people would argue he's one of the best players in the game, Juan Soto on the Nationals. It came out that he was potentially going to be traded or looking to be traded by the Nationals this year. And then the owners and the GM came out and said, we are now looking to trade him. And then people were saying, who in the world can afford to trade for him?
Yeah, you have to dump your entire prospects, like your entire farm system plus 4 or 5 major league ready players, and then sign him to a $500 million deal.
But see, that's the part that I want to ask you guys a question about. It's not should you the question I put out to you guys was should you trade him or sign him? The question is, you know what? As I literally said that, I'm gonna ask you that. Are the Nationals more likely to sign him to a $500 million deal or more, probably more, or are they more likely to try to trade him? What's more likely to happen? Because to me, I think it's more likely that they trade him because if they are in a rebuild in Washington, you can't pay a guy that much money when you're trying to get your whole team, like refill your entire team.
Right.
Do I think they should? Yeah, I think they should keep him forever. But I think it's more likely they try to trade him and they don't get what they should get for him. But I think it's more likely they get him somewhere else. What do you guys think?
Well, Juan Soto, one of the earlier episodes of this very show, you and I picked him to start our entire franchise around as the player that we would, essentially give the bank to. And so my position hasn't changed. I think if you're a player, you should try and hopefully get every single dollar that you possibly can. Now, that being said, your point to not being able to rebuild properly, spending allocating $500 million to one set player is an issue. It's hard, but on the flip side, you're not going to let him walk for free, right? You can't. You can't let him just leave, because at most you get one draft pick compensation when he gets signed by another team, right? So that's not enough. So then, I mean, if you're the Nationals owner, you have to put yourself, Nationals owner, National GM, the front office, you have to put yourself in that spot. I think keeping Juan Soto and paying Juan Soto is better than losing Juan Soto, because you're not going to get Juan Soto in return.
All right.
No matter who you get, no matter how many, he's a once in a generational type player. This dude's like 23 years old and already one of the best players that we've seen in a long time. You know what I mean? And he doesn't show signs of not really being being injured or anything like that. I mean, he just seems like the kind of guy that, like I said, I would build my team around. So, pay him the money and keep him, and you're guaranteed to have, fans in your stands and all that. So I'm just rocking. I'm riding with Soto. So
yeah, Del, what do you think?
Same. Copy. Ditto.
Same thing.
But different.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I disagree. I think they're more likely, but should they? Yes, they should sign him to $1 billion.
Where does he go? Who do you think makes the trade? Who's got the minor leaguers that could even make that happen? The White Sox? I mean, I don't even know where the best farm systems even are at this point. And then, like I said, once you make that trade and you lose those prospects, you have to re-sign Soto. Otherwise, you're essentially getting him for half a year, or however, let's say the duration of his contract of whatever it currently stands, right? So you get him for that long, and then he's walking. So you lose prospects and you lose him if you can't pony up the 500 plus that it'll be when it's time for him to hit free agency, anyways. So
I think anybody would sign him for 500.
Yeah. He'll be the first player. He'll be the first player to crack
for 500 million.
Yeah, I think realistically, no, that's a good point. I think, have we had anyone get 400 or 300 yet? 300, right? But
yeah,
4?
Just
a couple of threes, but I don't think anybody's broken 4. Like, that's an astronomical figure. I don't think anybody would sign him for that. So if he's threatening to leave, you'd be like, all right, then take a chance.
Sign him. Elon Musk will sign him. To the Musketeers. To the Musketeers, the Tesla Musketeers.
The brand new team, Silicon Valley Musketeers.
Sign Juan Soto to 10, 15 years for way over 500.
I'd sign him I'd make him a mortgage. He'd be on for 30 years, boy. I'd give him 500,000.
Give him that
500
Bonilla
million.
deal. 500,000.
30 years.
30 years.
$500,000.
I saw this picture online the other day. It was so sad. This guy was really pumped that he got like a loan approved for like $800, right? And he was like, "Get your money up, whatever." And then the interest was $200 payments for 32 months.
Oh my god,
dude! That like the financial literacy is so scary.
Yeah.
Yo, how do you sign that paper? They're like, we're gonna own you for literally years, and you're gonna pay us $200 a month to get $800.
What are those places called that do that? The
quick
credit shit.
Yeah, it's losing me.
It's legal loan sharking is what it is.
I can see it, but I can't say it. But yeah, that's horrible. But if you need the money, I get the desperation. But Juan Soto is not going to be in desperation for money or teams that want to sign him. I think the big thing is he's 23 years old and is gonna garner a lot of money because it'll be a lot of years. That's all. So
you'll probably get a 10 or 12-year deal.
At least. I mean, 10-year deals are like nothing now. He might get like 15.
Yeah, especially only at 23. Yeah.
It would have to be a 15-year deal to get that kind of money. That's insane.
I mean,
that's nuts.
But Mahomes got over 500. Well, he got 500 mil.
Yeah, but that's football money, dude. You got to look at the guaranteed. Is it 500 guaranteed, or is it? Because I think Watson had the most. Because when Watson signed or traded and then signed with the Browns, it was like 275 or 250, whatever his is. Let's just call it 250. Every dollar is guaranteed, and that was like the first ever contract in the NFL.
Wow.
With every dollar guaranteed. So, Mahomes signed a $500 million contract. Realistically, the only thing that matters is the guaranteed money that he's, set to make. And then everything else is like incentive bonus or roster bonus. Like, there's other stuff that he can hit that, eventually gets him to that point of $500 million. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, the other stories that from this past week, Trevor Story on the Red Sox has been on fire, and the Red Sox as well have been playing well, and they started very slow this year, the Red Sox, but they're starting to gain momentum. Trevor Story, I think he hit 3 home runs in one game, and then hit a grand slam in the next. And now Trevor Story, who everyone was ragging on, has been on fire this past week. So, and that comes with questions because the Red Sox have a shortstop in Xander Bogaerts, who at the end of this year could become a free agent or resign with the Red Sox. Now, if you were the Red Sox GM, would you want Trevor Story long term at shortstop? Or would you want Xander Bogaerts to sign back to your team? I'm inclined to be like, sign Xander Bogaerts. It's better to have 2 great middle infielders than one.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant one or the other. Like you can only have one. Yeah, I mean, if the option is to keep Devers, and keep Bogaerts, if you can keep that core intact, I mean, you build from the inside out, right? So you want starting pitching, catching, middle infield, center fielder, and then you build out that way. So like you said, if you have a shortstop and a second baseman locked up, let's
well, Ben, if you want to reverse it to be like, who would you pick? Let's go with that. Who would you pick, Trevor Story long term or Bogaerts long term? It's a better question.
Bogaerts has done it longer in Boston. Trevor Story has shown me a week.
Right.
So I'll take Bogaerts. I think I like Bogaerts better anyways. I think you would go the same way.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Belgrade is gonna want long term as far as money. I know what Trevor Story just signed. So if Belgrade wants buku money, I mean, almost by default, you go with Story. But yeah, his entire career has been in Boston. He's performed. He plays well in the playoffs. I would say Bogarts by that, but if he's gonna ask for, superstar
$200
money,
million.
I don't think Senator Bogarts is box office. I don't think people are coming to see him. So by that way, I'd be like, I would have a hard time giving him a lot. So I would say it depends on what Bogarts wants.
So it depends on the dollar amount that he
Right.
comes out with. Okay.
Right.
All right, that's fair. Dal, what about you?
You guys already know more than I do about this topic, and I'm gonna say I don't want either of them on the team.
All right. How about this? Would you rather eat at Bogart's or have a guy named Trevor read you a story?
Is this pre?
This is
asbestos?
This is pre Bogart's incident. Yeah.
You know what? I would like to see what Bogarts is all about.
When that guy got his throat cut in the parking lot.
He cut his
I
own throat.
did not know.
However that happened.
He fell on a knife.
In the back 13 times.
That's how it happened.
The guy just kept getting up.
He tried doing the reverse.
Kept slipping the reverse worm.
There was ice outside.
It was icy.
Dude, I remember Jake used to do the worm when he would do Scotty Too Hot.
Oh yeah.
That's right. That's right.
He still does it.
No. I have something called an incision on my chest, and that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say dignity.
Happening.
I thought you were going to say dignity. I have something called dignity.
I mean, not to do the worm. I do that.
I would do that.
I
wouldn't. And the last thing is, I want to ask you guys something. This came up actually when I was watching another podcast, Baseball Today. Now, they were talking about position players pitching and how it at one time was a kind of a special thing to see. It was so rare.
Yeah.
You're right. So, are you guys in favor of position players kind of becoming more regular? Are you kind of indifferent to it happening more often? Or do you hate the fact that position players are becoming de facto like relievers?
I get why it happens, right? Like if you're in a blowout, you don't want to use your valuable arms in your actual bullpen. But we're from the older school of baseball when that really wasn't the case, and pitchers just tried to go. Like we lived in the era of Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor blowing out their arms because they were just throwing 130 pitches a game. You know what I mean? Like just crazy stuff like that. And so I get it, but the novelty has worn off. It seems like every game, even if it's like a 7-run game or something that's not even that crazy, they'll just be like, all right, trot our middle infielder out there to let him throw a couple innings. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. Right, yeah, like Pujols just pitched. Like Jake and I talked about it last week.
Right.
Pujols pitched, but then Sunday, Yadi Molina pitched.
Gave up a home run.
That's like, I don't know, man. The novelty for me has worn off. It was cute when it first started. I thought it was cool. Thought it was funny. Like, hey, look at this. But now it's just like an almost weekly occurrence.
So you don't like it?
Yeah, I'm saying the novelty's worn off. I don't mess with it anymore.
So Dallas, do you tend, or when you see a position player come out, are it happening so often now
on the mound?
What are your thoughts?
I'm indifferent. Like, that's cool. If kind of like Ben, to touch on what Ben said about saving good arms.
Touch on it.
I touch on a lot of what that says.
Touch on it hard. Touch on it long. Touch
And
on it.
Switch it up.
And gentle.
How'd
I get so lucky?
Ooh.
Just born lucky. Yeah, I don't mind seeing them come out if it's like a slaughter rule, but.
So you're saying what do you think about Slaughterbush? They just put like a 10-run limit. You hit a 10-run limit, that's it. You're done.
I'd say in 15. Yeah, honestly, because by then it's just ridiculous and like
10 runs after the fifth.
And the same token, as a paying customer, I would want to be there the whole time. If it were
they're not going to give you. They're not going to give you like, all right, the game was over in the sixth. Here's 3 innings of
come back.
Your ticket back. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, slaughter rule would suck for that. So I mean, but I like being at a game where like one of my favorite infielders or outfielders came in and pitched. Like that'd be neat to see. So
dude, it would only be neat to see if your team was on the winning side.
Yeah, but
if you're watching the Cubs get blown out 16-0, I don't want to see Ramos Ramirez pitching. I mean,
wouldn't stay there.
That's what I'm saying. So then like, what's the point even at that point? What's the point?
Because they need to finish the game. Why, like you said though, why would you put in one of your
bring a fan in. Bring a fan in and put the pitching net out there so that nobody can get hurt. So that nobody can get hurt. And use a fan. Just fuck it. Just.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure on the speed clock, Yachty was only hitting like 62. So like we could do that.
I also don't think he was trying to like gun a runner out from behind.
We could do it. Come on, guys. I mean?
So we were the Sox game. We were trying so hard to do the speed pitch thing.
Did you do
it?
Like
every time we went up, there was like a longer and longer line.
Because there were a bunch of 8-year-olds probably.
Yeah, but there was like an old man in flip flops, like chucking, and he was hitting like 60. I thought to myself, I was like, I could do that. And then I thought,
I better not.
Man,
you throw 55.
I haven't thrown real hard in a while, and so if I hurt myself, I'm gonna be real mad. Just for nothing. I
played a softball game a week ago from Sunday, and my arm just stopped being sore maybe 2 days ago. So
how'd you hit?
Keep that in mind. Not as well as I would have liked, and I wish I could say it was faster.
That's always the hardest transition is hitting when you come back, because it's so slow.
I haven't
your eyeballs just boom, and you're just like, oh my god.
Oh, it looked so good, dude. Yeah, and I struck out my.
Then you swing, and then you swing 14 miles ahead of the ball, and you're like, oh god, what did I sign up for?
And like, yeah, dude, there some of the people were late, so I just fell into their cleanup position, and I was like, fuck.
You're like, how much have you played? He's like, I haven't played in high school.
I'm not ready for
All I heard was high school. You're in the cleanup hitter, number 4.
It was great.
And all you had to do was show up with a birth certificate in green crayon, right? That's how you got in.
I was in the seniors league. Yeah, they believed me. Showed them my grace.
You got the hair, yeah. You got the hair. You got the.
That was good.
It wouldn't surprise anyone, but I've not played slow pitch softball ever.
What? You didn't even play before you got sick?
No.
Oh wow.
That does surprise everyone. Actually,
you should try out for the. I'm sure they have a Paralympics team. You should work on that. Do that
for softball.
Yeah, why not?
Can there?
There is.
I'm
pretty sure there's.
I'm gonna look this up.
Team.
Jake, you look up that you go on the next category. I'm gonna look this up.
All right, so actually, we're going to go to third base, which is the NWSL name game, and this will be a competition between Ben and Dallas, and see
no cheating.
Who can guess the NWSL, their city? I'll give the city, and then I'll give you 2 options, and then you say of those options, which one is the actual women's soccer team name. Good?
Let's do it.
Yeah, dude, there's wheelchair softball. This is definitely a thing. I'm looking it up. Look at this is young lady. Oh, I'm showing the wrong camera. There's young ladies in Japan. Well, I had it. Whatever. They're playing in Japan. That's what I'm saying. It's possible. Let's get Jake on that team. Let's get Jake on that team.
Conspiracy. All right. So, we're gonna go to the first NWSL name game. We'll go with the city. I give
All right,
you
feel
guys
good about
this,
this.
but before we were recording, but I want to say it again for the audience who wasn't here. So LA is the expansion team this year. They just became a team in the league this year. LA, the two options are they named Angel City FC or the Hollywood Stars FC?
I'm gonna
Hopefully,
say
Angel
Angel
City.
City because that sounds cooler. It also sounds like Angel
Wait.
Grove, which is from Power Rangers.
Very true. Very true. Dallas,
That's my answer.
what do you think?
I just want it to be Angel City because the other one sounds terrible.
Well, you both are right.
Yes.
Good, thank God.
Round of
Now-
applause.
They didn't buddy about that name.
We're just gonna call them the Hollywood Stars.
Only for this team, but I'll say, can anyone guess the two colors that they have for Angel City FC?
Baby
I'm
blue
gonna
and
say-
royal blue.
I was gonna say purple and gold. They're gonna stick to Lakers colors.
Baby
You both are wrong. It's black and pink.
I
Do
like
they
that
at least
color
look
combo.
cool though? Do they look like Bret Hart? 'Cause Bret Hart looks cool.
Not Bret Hart,
That'd be
but they
scary.
actually they look pretty cool. The logo. So if
That's
you
what
look
Bret
it
Hart's
up, the
running around.
Angel City FC, their logo is pretty cool.
Are we getting in on this? Are we
Um,
gonna start buying soccer jerseys though?
I just got an SC jersey for Nashville.
that?
So.
Oh, yeah.
Mine, I got the highlighter yellow one, so it's practically glow in the dark. It's insane.
As if your skin wasn't glow in the dark enough.
No, it's
Yeah,
awful.
pretty much.
I'm straight on Casper, just a sportier Casper now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now you look like Casper who died on the soccer pitch. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, so the second team is Houston. They have a team out in Houston. They have actually won a couple times the cup, or they've also just won the championship as well. So, are they the Houston Dash, or are they the Houston Heat FC?
Heat.
I'm going to use context clues. The male team is the Houston Dynamo. So, based
be
on
cheating, Ben.
that. No, that's just knowledge.
cheating.
Look, my hands are in my pouch.
I mean,
I'm going to say because it's
Ben's
the
right.
Dynamo, I'm saying it's the Dash. Because Dash and Dynamo sounds good. And the Heat is already a different team name that I don't think they would try to repeat.
Let's hope.
Ben using context clues is always great. You know,
Nice.
in fact, he's right.
Boom.
It
you
is
go,
the
kids.
Houston Dash.
Context clues, kids.
So Ben is up. Ben is up by 1 point. It's 2-1 so far. So we'll
Nice.
go to the next team.
That's my Pokemon
Thi-
win face.
This team actually is two states share a team.
Is it right on the
Think-
border?
Kansas City.
I was gonna say, you know how jacked up it'd be if it was like in the middle of downtown of
Well-
one of the states.
well,
They were just
No,
like,
it's
forget that.
it's like this. You know the I forget. You guys know the NFL more than me, but you guys know the New York football team. Which one or do both play New Jersey? New Jersey.
they share a stadium in New Jersey.
Right. All right.
Okay, so it's
this,
like that.
This team is the New Jersey / New York team.
Got
Okay.
it.
So are they the New Jersey, New York Responders,
Terrible.
or are they the New Jersey, New York Gotham FC?
It has to be Gotham FC. That sounds way cooler. The
go with
Responders.
The Responders.
They
That's what
are
I'll go
famous. They
No.
are famous in New York for the first responders.
I get that, but that's not something you shouldn't want to name your team after something sad.
Bro, there's the Washington Commanders now.
Well, that's just because
That's
their
true.
other one was so much worse than that.
Well, true, but that's not the point. All right. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Responders or Gotham FC?
I'm going Gotham FC. Just based on Dallas's logic of the first one being, I hope the other one's not right.
I'll just go with the Responders then. You can't go with the same answer on everything.
All right. Well, you might want to next time, Dallas, because Ben's right.
Nice.
I'm on
It
fire. Do I know
it
my
is-
women's soccer or what?
You are
I
on
mean-
fire now. He's got 3 in a row.
if you could name one player from any of these teams,
right.
you win. All right. Let's hold on. So
Go.
next team is Seattle. So Seattle used to literally play in Seattle, but as of recently, they've relocated outside Seattle to Tacoma, which is right outside the city, but they're still from Seattle.
Just their women's club relocated, or
Yeah,
the men's also.
the men's team is still there. The Seattle Sounders still play in the football.
In the Seahawks, yeah.
Right. So the women's team from Seattle, are they called OL Reign? Reign as in REIGN? OL Reign, or are they called the Seattle United?
Dang. The first one sounds exotic.
Yeah.
It even has like the other, the different spelling of rain, which is like
why would you spell it like the
kingly
rain from the clouds? Why would you do that?
Because it always rains there.
Then that's what it
True.
is, isn't it? Go ahead, Ben. I'm gonna let you pick
Northwest.
So let me finish using my Sherlock skills. All right. I'm also trying to read the reflection in Jake's glasses, see if I can get anything off that. Clearly not.
No, you're not.
Okay, then I'm just gonna go with the United because that seems to be a pretty safe soccer team.
I already picked that one. You picked the first one.
I was rallying against the first one. Fine. You know what? I'll take the rain. I don't know what the OL means. Maybe it's like something I don't understand.
It's the old rain. Like, it's just rain. Classic
old
rain.
It's not
Is it
OL.
Apostrophe?
No. It's OL, both capital.
Dude, what does that makes me think it's like Olympisch Liga.
It could be.
Rain,
Olympia.
which is like German. That sounds German to me because there used to be an NFL Europe team called the Munich or the Berlin Rain, spelled REIGN. But since Dallas is bullying me into taking that one, I'll take the Rain.
He's bullied.
OL Rain going for both of you? Going that?
No, Dallas wants the other one.
I'm going with the other one.
So going United. All right.
That's right.
It is the OL Rain.
Yeah. I fucking knew it too.
Cyberbullying works, kids.
All right. We are not putting that out there. All right. So
Dal, I'm going to let you pick first next so I know which one's right.
Right.
Let's just say I'm never naming a women's soccer league.
They're never going to ask you for naming rights.
So if you guys are at all curious, they were called the Seattle Reign, the same spelling REIGN FC.
So
they wear that. But OL Reign, OL is actually a connection to a international clubs around the world. The Olympic.
I think I was kind of.
I'm gonna butcher this. It's Olympic. I'm not even sure. Lionels. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's a connect.
I knew that. It felt very European to me.
Yeah, that was it.
They like to add stuff that doesn't need to be there. Like they spell favorite weird. You know what I mean?
They break.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. All right.
They call them crisps and chips and.
Just to recap, Ben is up 4-1.
Just where I want him.
I don't know how this happening.
The biggest comeback in NSWL history.
Next question. History. Benny, name the acronym for the Women's Soccer League.
Yeah.
Hey, well, did I get it right? Is an NSWL?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I definitely got it wrong.
Oh.
It's NWSL, National Women's Soccer League.
Not so
That's easier
hard.
than I thought. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead. What's the
All
next
right,
team?
so next one is still, let's see, in the Pacific Northwest. Portland has a team.
Of course they did.
They also have a men's team in the MLS. In Portland for the NWSL, are they the Portland? We'll go with the same sort of theme, Rain FC, but actually rain, like the precipitation. Portland Rain FC, or are they the Portland Thorns FC?
Go ahead, Dal.
I was gonna do Thorns for some reason.
Okay.
What the hell could have did they mean thorn on a rose bush? Because that checks out because there's a lot of roses in Portland. I think that's what Portland's known for. They're called Rose City. So I think Dallas is right. I think the answer is Thorn. Final answer. That's what I'm going with. I'm not letting you bully me. I'm not picking the wrong one.
You have to pick right.
You're both right.
Did I contest clue the shit out of that, Jake?
I mean, pretty much. Ben is Mr. Context. All right, it's 5-2 so far. All right, the next team is the next expansion team. So LA was one expansion team this year. The other one is San Diego. Ben might even remember this. I mentioned it last week, but if he doesn't, I get it. All right,
I'm gonna remember it once you say it. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head though.
All right, is it the San Diego? Is it San Diego Wave FC, or is it San Diego Sol? SOL, meaning the Spanish for sun.
Dal, go ahead.
You know what? I want Ben to guess because he said he would know.
Yeah, I think it's the first one because I would remember if it was SOL Soul. Yeah, right, so I'm gonna go with the first one. I don't even remember.
I was gonna say the Wave. I'll do the Soul. I'll do Soul.
Dallas, go against your instincts.
I was gonna say Wave. That was my instinct. I'm gonna go with Soul because Ben's going with Wave.
All right, well, you should have followed it on that one.
It's Wave FC.
That's what I figured.
Ben is killing.
Supposed to be some good surfing out there.
Ben has not gotten one wrong.
That's a good team name, though. That makes sense.
Yeah.
For like the Surf FC.
So I have talked about the Chicago team.
Oh, I know.
Way more. So Ben, if you already know it, what is it?
It's the Red Stars, yeah.
Okay. Dallas, what do you think? What is it? Do you remember or do you want options?
It's not the Blue Stripes, so yeah, I guess I'll go with the Red Stars.
I don't know how well that would go over.
Blue Stripes wasn't the other option, but yes, it is Red Stars.
It's the White Stripes.
And the flag, you know.
It's just Jack White running around against 9 other people.
You know what? This next team is a recent expansion team, but I'm gonna say I laughed when I saw this. All right, so it's in Kansas City. They're again another MLS team. They're the Sporting KC. Sorry, Sporting. Yes. So for Kansas City, are they called KCFC, or are they called Kansas City Current? Current meaning like a current from water.
Which would make no sense. It's like the worst area.
Unless they mean, who is this? Kansas City? Is this Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri?
Kansas City's got some pretty areas. I'm gonna go with FC. Fuck it. Attack.
KCFC.
That's right.
Dude, that sounds terrible. That sounds like Kentucky Fried.
That's exactly what it sounds
Kentucky Fried.
That's why
it's like KFC. No, I'm gonna go with the Wave because I'm thinking the Amber Wave.
It's not Wave. It's not Wave. It's Current.
It's a current.
Yeah, okay. I'm still gonna go Current because Current is like water. Water is like waves.
Oh wait, yeah, that is the city of fountains too, so that would make sense if it were the Current. but I'm still going with the FC.
It's current. Stop, Dallas. Come on.
Yeah, I'll
You have
answer
to go
first.
opposite.
No, I'll
You
answer
can't all
first,
say
and
the
then
same
you make
thing.
your guess after that.
All right.
But that makes
Well,
sense, though. The current actually makes sense. I get that.
You know, I
I
didn't even
don't
know.
think
It was
I
called
don't think you
Water
have
City.
enough time to catch up, but that's okay. All right, so there are 4 teams left. Yeah, so Dallas, you can't catch up. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can make it close. All right, so next team is North Carolina.
I was hoping you'd say Korea.
They just added
Yeah,
the North Korean women's team.
no team allowed in.
Yeah, and they don't allow anybody out either, but they're still there, and they're undefeated every year, which is amazing.
Undefeated.
Every year.
Against themselves. All right,
Yeah.
North Carolina, is it North Carolina Cougars or North Carolina Courage?
I hope it's
I was
the
gonna say the
Cougars.
PD Pablos. North
No.
Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head like a helicopter. I'm gonna go with the Cougars. Cougars.
I'll go with Benny.
Cougs.
Well, you're both wrong.
Wow. Dal, you're bringing me down. Don't pick my answers anymore. It was supposed to be right, and then you picked it, and now it's wrong.
Ben finally got one wrong, and Dallas was like, me too.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So it's the Courage? Is that what you said?
It's the Courage.
What's very courageous about North Carolina?
In fairness, the reason why I made the name Cougars is because in their logo in North Carolina there are bobcats, which are a species or whatever of cougars. So,
see, contextually, I would have fallen for that.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't know about the Cougars.
Got you wrong.
But
it's North Carolina Courage, and they've had a lot of issues, but they win. So anyway, so next team is Orlando. Are they the Orlando Pride or simply Orlando FC?
I'm gonna say the Pride.
It has to be, because that's dumb. So the Pride.
It is the Orlando Pride. Good job.
Good job, Del. How does it feel?
It feels lame. What a lame name. Go with Orlando FC. It sounds way more professional.
Is the men's team the Orlando FC? Do they have a men's team then?
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure it's SC, but I'll look it up. All right, so there are 2 teams left: Louisville and Washington, as in DC. All right, so Louisville team. I think I mentioned this last week. So Louisville, are they the Racing Louisville FC, or are they the Louisville Crowns?
That's the first one.
So Ben, you're going with Racing?
Yeah, because we talked about racing being weird.
I was like, the Kentucky Derby makes sense. So.
I'm so glad to know that Dallas watches the podcast when he's not on.
True.
Because you would have gotten 2 more right answers.
Yeah, Ben, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's say you sent me the screenshot of it, and I thought I could click it, and I couldn't, so I didn't know. But then I just remembered I'm also subscribed, so I could have just gone on.
You could have just YouTube, Spotify, all those.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what happens when you guys just forget about me.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
I don't know technology. All right, you guys are lucky I know how to get on this thing.
This dang contraption.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, do you guys remember the first cell phone you ever got?
Yeah.
Jake, I remember you had Sidekick. I'm still not convinced you don't have a Sidekick now to this day.
I would love it.
Dude, you were king of the Sidekick. You used to flick that bad boy. Woo.
Ooh.
He would boomerang it.
You hear that click, so you knew it was in place. Kids nowadays will never understand how great Nextel phones were. I never had one. But when you hear the beep beep, and you could just radio anybody all the time, chirp them up.
Yeah.
How terrible of a concept is that? Everyone hears your communications. You just have a big walkie-talkie
Just all the time.
everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yo,
last
mama.
team. I have one last team.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is Washington. Okay. So
State
it's
or DC?
DC. Okay.
Can't forget the context clues.
All right. So is it the Washington Spirit or is it the Washington Swamp?
Drain the swamp, baby. It's got to be the Spirit, which is terrible in and of itself.
God.
Like swamp is almost as good because the Spirit is a bad name. I think I like the Pride more because at least it's inclusivity. You know, like you could do Pride Night, you could do different stuff like that.
Well, that's the reason why they're named that.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Context clues, baby. But no,
you can't say context clues after because you didn't use the context clues. There was no context clue.
Well, I'm just smarter than everybody else. Then how about that?
That's it.
No, but what's spiritful? Is that the word? Spiritful? What's spiritual?
Spirited.
Spiritual? What's great about Washington D.C. that you go the Spirit?
You know
Spirit
what?
of the nation, maybe.
They should have named themselves the Nicolas Cage's "I'm Gonna Steal the Declaration of Independence," the National Treasures.
Man,
that's what they should have
called. A long name.
The Washington Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. It's terrible acronyms, but it's better than KCFC or KFC, whatever.
KFC.
Well, that wasn't their name.
Well,
I made that one up because it made me laugh.
It made me laugh.
Well,
all right.
It's got to
be. You know what? I'm not gonna tell you Ben won. Okay.
But Dallas, you tried hard.
I don't think you need to tell
and we're still dear friends. One, we had fun, and two, we tried real hard. We're still dear friends.
We're still dear friends.
You know what? I know Dallas, you didn't listen to the episode last week, and that's okay. That's okay.
Thank
All right, but we're actually going to wrap up this episode by hitting home plate by having our hometown take of the weeks. So Ben, why don't you start us off? What is your hometown take of the week this week for Chicago?
So instead of a take of the week, I'm going rogue because I think I did this last week as well because Chicago sports still suck. Nothing's changed since last week, but I will be watching the NBA playoffs, which has been incredible. The Warriors are going to sweep the Mavericks. Sorry, Dallas. You're just de facto like every Dallas sports fan, just based because of your name.
Everybody says that.
Yeah. So sorry, Mavericks. They're going to lose. And then the Boston and the Heat's been really great. So I'm going to watch that, or I'm going to try to get some of that in tonight. But tonight is a big night for my other podcast, which will, which I'm sure you guys have heard of or seen if you're watching this. We're going to start filming episodes again today. I know we said last week the scheduling didn't come through, so actually once I'm done wrapping up this, I'm going to head into town and we're going to record. We have a big game show episode that we're going to do that's going to be gross and fun and a lot of laughs. So check it out. It's called This is 30 Podcast. You can find it on Facebook, and then we're going to start putting up videos on YouTube shortly, and then starting the TikTok channel and all that kind of stuff that comes along with it. So there you go. Check it out. This is 30 Podcast.
Yeah, and if you guys are watching this, or if you guys are visiting our TikTok or our Instagram or Facebook, we'll make sure to link. We'll have connections over so you can check it out. All right, so Dallas, if Ben went rogue and did something else, what's he going to be watching or doing this next week? What's something you're going to be watching or doing this upcoming week that you're excited for?
New season of Stranger Things comes out this week. That'll be cool. And I am going to actually listen to your guys' episode from last week.
Hey, we guilt tripped him into doing it.
I don't buy that.
Well, Jake, there's one way we can check.
Make me a quiz.
Just wait for the viewership or the
up.
count to go up by one single vote. If we get there later, we know we
You'll be
followed
like,
through.
aha. Good for
right.
you. Good for you.
All right. Dallas, I'm actually sharing that with you. That Stranger Things this Friday. We just binge watched season 3 to kind of get back into it, so that was fun. But even more so, I'm a Star Wars fan, so the new season or the first season, maybe only season of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show comes out Friday with 2 episodes. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
should be a good time. And again, This Is Us finale comes out the night before this comes out, so I got TV to watch.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so that's actually going to wrap up episode 23 of the On Family Based podcast. Again, my name is Jake.
And I am Dallas.
And my name is Ben.
And Ben, you actually never asked me who's my favorite number 23 in history.
Oh, Jake, who's your favorite number 23? Dal, you get to do this too. You can't pick Michael Jordan.
I don't know. I didn't think about it.
I'm going to say Ryan Sandberg, just because that just popped into my head right now.
Yeah, me too.
No, I'm going to take that. You can take Sandberg. I'll take Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Dallas takes.
Shit, I don't have one, man. I don't know.
Somebody else. All right, good pick. Hooray.
All right, so we'll actually continue it. So next week, Dallas will have
number 24. Big number 24.
So episode 23. Episode 23 is over, but next week on episode 24, we'll actually all check back in. We'll see how we did. The Cubs record this past week. And we'll see you guys this time next week. Subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, if the button is red, that means you are not subscribed. If it is gray, you are subscribed. So press that button. If you're listening, subscribe.
Hit it.
Robin Ventura. There you go.
Hey, switch hitter. Robin Ventura.
There you go. All right. We'll see you guys next week. And that'll be in June. So it'll be a new month. See you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.